Good morning, everyone. We welcome Tony Stewart, driver of the Stewart Haas Racing's number 14 Always a Racer Mobile One Chevrolet SS this morning. Stewart will be making his 618th NASCAR Sprint Cup Series start this weekend. He's obviously been one of the greatest drivers in NASCAR Sprint Cup history. He is, of course, a three-time Sprint Cup Series champion, which ties him for third most in series history with NASCAR Hall of Famers Lee Petty, Darrell Waltrip, Cale Yarborough, and David Pearson. He has won 49 Sprint Cup Series races, and he will be gunning for number 50 this Sunday. So we will open it up for questions. Starting with Mr. Bob Pockras, and we'll then go to Holly, and then back to Greg.
Good morning.
Bob Pockras, ESPN. When did you see the car, and was there any things that you particularly liked about the scheme on it?
I saw it on, I guess it would have been Wednesday, and loved it. I mean, it's the thing I liked most about it's all the employees at Stewart Haas Racing's signatures are on it, and that means a bunch to me. So it was pretty cool to see, and it's going to be pretty fun to run that car this weekend.
Okay, we'll go to Holly and then Alan.
Has anything kind of tugged at you or gotten you so far this week? Have you been surprised maybe by somebody that reached out either to you or in the media, or has there been any sort of element of this is pretty cool and on a sentimental level?
I guess I'll get to that, but the first part you said kind of struck a nerve because somebody reached out and touched me yesterday and stole my cell phone out of my pocket. So, I was like, well, that kind of brought it right back to my mind. So. Yeah, it's been a hell of a start to the weekend to get your phone stolen, but no, it's been, that was probably the biggest thing that was disappointing last night when I realized my phone was stolen was the fact that I was in the process of answering text messages from people. I got a flood of text messages yesterday, and I think I'm going to have a phone by tomorrow, so I'm sure when I turn it on, it's going to be absolutely crazy when I turn it back on, but it's been neat. It's people I haven't talked to for a long time, people that are friends that I haven't seen or heard of from a long time reached out this week, and it's been pretty cool.
All right, we'll go with
nothing in particular that really struck a nerve, but it's just it's just the overall support from everybody was really awesome.
All right, we'll go to Alan Cavanna, to Claire B, and then back to Greg Engel.
Alan Cavanna, Fox Sports, right here in the middle. There's going to be a lot of pieces written, a lot of TV pieces that use the word legacy. Does that matter to you? What people say your legacy is? Have you thought about that word?
I haven't. Normally legacy means you're old. You've been around for a long time, so it's just been fun. It's been a fun 18 years, and not every part of it's been fun. And I've made your guys' life hell at certain points during my 18-year run here, but. The thing that I think at the end of it, I've always said what was on my mind, whether it was popular or unpopular. I always fought for what I believed in, whether it was safety for other drivers or something etiquette that was going on the racetrack or whatever. I always fought for what I believed in, and at the end of the day, I can sleep all right knowing that that's why I did it. It wasn't because I was trying to be a jerk or something like that. I just always spoke my mind and fought for what I believed in. So. It's been a lot of fun. It's the great thing is I'm not really going anywhere, and in the big picture, what's changing isn't, in my big picture, it's not really a huge change, because 90% of the stuff that I'm already doing, I'm still going to continue to do. It's a big part, obviously, in the racing world. It's a big change, but for me, it's not going to be that big of a change. So I just look at it like it's halftime of a ball game, in all honesty. This is the end of the first half, and then the next season we start the second half, and it's going to be just as much fun, if not more fun, than this first half was. So, I'm excited about, finishing this chapter, but I'm really excited about starting the next chapter next year.
All right, we'll go to Claire B, Greg, and then Jeff Gluck.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. I've been interviewing drivers throughout the garage about you, and first what I noticed is they get sort of emotional, even the ones you think wouldn't, and then they After they get done with the serious part of it, then they tell a really funny story. And they've all got a great funny story about an encounter with you or something with you. How do you react to all of that you've had such a good time in the garage? I mean, even the Final Four yesterday, when asked about, you said that they probably couldn't tell a lot of them in a national news conference. Talk about your relationship with everybody in the garage, the fun that you've had over the years.
I mean, you guys know because you guys go through the same grind 3 days a week at the racetrack that we do. If you don't have fun doing this, you'd be miserable. So, I mean, you guys know the same people I know in the garage area. You know the same drivers, you know the same crew chiefs. Most of you know a lot of the same crew guys I know. There's fun people in there, and if you don't have fun doing this, it's why do we do it if we're not going to have a good time? So, you know, it's been fun. The good thing is I think there's only 2 more days I got to dodge whatever pranks guys that decide they want to pay me back. So I'm very strategic about what I do for the next 2 days. But it's been a lot of fun. I mean, there's a lot of really neat personalities and neat people, and it's been, you know, the fun part's been getting to know all these guys, whether it's, you know, NASCAR officials or, you know, crew chiefs, drivers, so on. I mean, it's been a good time with them.
All right, Greg, Jeff Gluck, and then over to Jerry Jordan.
GregEngleCupSteam.com. Thanks for the memories over the years and being mean to some of us on occasion. But in all seriousness, you do a lot of charity work. You do a lot of things that nobody ever hears about. Are you ever going to become a little more visible with that now that you've got time out of the race car? And as a follow-up to that, does this mean you'll never ever get in a cup car again, whether it's for filling for one of your drivers like Jeff did for Dale, or if it's something where you get an opportunity to perhaps have a second chance to race that like Daytona 500 that you've never, Daytona 500 won? Is that something, are you going to completely rule that out, or if something did come up, you'd like to take another stab at it?
No, I'm good. This is it. This is the last one. So I think I learned my lesson from Jeff. Jeff tried to do somebody a favor this year and got roped into running half the season. So thank you, Jeff, for teaching me a lesson before I got roped into it. So no, I'm not planning on that at all. So we're going to be busy. I mean, in all honesty, and I don't have a schedule set next year, but I just know the things that I'm planning. My schedule next year is going to be much busier than it already is this year. So there's just not going to be room for it.
All right, we'll go Jeff, Jerry, and then over to Tom Jensen over here.
Tony, where were you when your got going? When did you arrive?
My girlfriend and I, we were actually on our way Wednesday night to Miami, the hotel we were staying there because we had the owners meeting yesterday, and we saw some carnival deal, and you know, so we stopped and it was about to close, but we went back to it last night on our way back to here, and we were just getting ready to leave, and I realized it wasn't in my pocket. I had her phone, my phone, a couple other things that I was holding for her, and when I was checking to see where it was at, it was not there anymore, and we'd bumped into some people right before that, and I'm fairly certain that's when it decided it went a different direction. But it was kind of fun because they have that Find My iPhone app, and we went chasing people forever trying to find it until we realized they were in the parking lot, and they got in the car and they were gone. So I hit block on it and deleted it, and now I got to get a new phone. So, which is devastating. I do everything off of my cell phone. I mean, my life is on that cell phone. So I start my life over tomorrow.
All right, we'll go Jerry, Tom Jensen, and back over to Jordan.
What are you going to miss most about being in the Sprint Cup Series, and what are you going to miss the least about here in this series in NASCAR?
I don't know that I'm really going to miss anything, because I'm still going to get, you know, the great thing is I still get to see the people and be around the people, and that's probably the best part of the whole deal. And I'm still going to be around the sport. I'm still going to be active. I mean, if you don't think being an owner is competitive, I can show you a bunch of different cases where it's competitive being an owner. So that part's, you know, that part of it's not going to change. So I'm really not going. I don't think I'm going to miss a lot. The thing that I'm not going to miss is 9 a.m. practices on Saturday morning. So I never have to get up for a 9 a.m. practice ever again. So I don't know. The schedule's probably the biggest thing. I mean, that's that's the thing I'm looking forward to the most, is having a more flexible schedule. And you know, there'll be weekends where I'm at the track all 3 days, and there might be weekends that I'm at the track just on Sunday. But at least I have the flexibility now to do more things and kind of set my own schedule now.
All right, we'll go with Tom and Jordan, and then we'll come down to Lee Spencer.
Tom Jennings from FoxSports.com. Done a lot of things in your career and a lot of different series. What are you most proud of?
All of it. I mean, it was all, you know, when you look back at it, it's hard to pick one thing, to be honest. I mean, just the whole ride's been the best part, but it's, like I said, I mean, I'm not done yet. I mean, I got a lot of racing left to do. I've had some phone calls and offers to do some pretty neat things that I never thought I'd have the opportunity to do. Now that I have more time, it's opened up some opportunities. So, you know, I think it's kind of a chapter. That part of it's still open. It's not done yet. And I think everything we've done to this point, though, is, in the big picture, every bit of it's been. There hasn't been any part of my career I didn't enjoy. You know, there's things about everything that I've done that I liked more than others and disliked more than others. But as a whole, I mean, I've enjoyed everything I've done and the road that I've taken to get here.
All right, over to Jordan, then Lee, and then we'll go to Al Pierce.
Or beyond the estimation. Tony, last year Jeff had quite a contingent here for his last race. Lewis Hamilton and Martin Ready. Who's going to be a part of your going away party this weekend?
Eddie and Drew and Mike, wherever Mike went.
Anybody special coming in that for making it tomorrow like this?
Eddie and Drew and Mike. They're pretty, I don't know if you know this, they're pretty special. I mean, Eddie back there, I mean, that man's been through every battle and war with me. I mean, he's probably been the biggest father figure I've ever had in my life, and I think that's pretty special just to have him here, let alone, you know, Mike, who's been through 17 years with me. Gooch, my bus driver, who's been with me for almost 20 years now. I mean, those are the people that I'm excited to share this weekend with. It's not one-off friends that come here and there and are hanging out for the weekend. It's the people that every day, week in and week out, have been through this journey with me.
All right,
I like your jacket, by the way. What shade of pink is that? Salmon? Okay, sorry, thank you. I'm much bigger than you are, by the way. You'll have to get me a larger one. So.
All right, we'll go Lee, Al, and then over to Joseph Welkin.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. Do you have any regrets whatsoever from the time that you started out with Vernier and Gibbs and up to today as far as NASCAR goes? And then could you tell us what you think is like your pinnacle of what you did through the course of your career in NASCAR?
I don't remember the first part you said. You know, I think there's always points in everybody's life you wish you'd have done something a little bit different. I mean, and I've had a lot of those moments for sure that if I could go back and redo it, I would love to do it over again. But I think how everything shook out at the end, I mean, I'm pretty proud of that and happy about it. But all right, tell me the second part again now. I'm still trying to find my cell phone, damn it. I can't focus on anything. I've been up all night trying to figure out how to get this thing. So.
Great feels for you. He left his at home. But anyway, can you talk about what your biggest accomplishment, what you feel is your biggest accomplishment?
In NASCAR,
Yes,
I still think, I still feel like it was winning that first Brickyard 400. I mean, I don't know how I'd say that's probably top of the list, and I think this race in 2011, I don't know how you could top that either. I mean, those two I would say have to stand out more than anything.
Is that why you wanted Carl's helmet? So
I'm getting 25 helmets from guys this weekend. It just happened that, I mean, that shows you how thoughtful Carl was. He could have picked any helmet that he wanted to give me, but he gave me the one that we raced the 2011 championship with, that he ran second to us. That's the helmet he gave me, which is, I mean, I think that's a huge honor. I think that shows Carl's character and how thoughtful of a person he really is.
All right, we'll go Al, Joseph Welkin, and then Chris Knight. And we're going to have a tight stop. He's got to get into a car pretty soon. So.
What are they going to do, fire me if I'm late?
No, you can be late. Yeah.
I probably got a
Talk to your owner.
15-minute penalty anyways.
Tony Stewart all week. When you announced your retirement, you said you didn't want speedways to do anything, no dog and pony shows, no rocking chairs. Have most racetracks respected your wishes in that regard?
Yeah.
Or have there been things done that you just kind of said, oh, man?
Well, the only wild card is always Eddie Gossage. So, and I got a ginormous bobblehead that I have no idea what the hell I'm going to do with it. So if any of you guys really want the bobblehead, I'll be more than happy to ship it to your house. I'll sign it if you want, anything to get rid of it. At least I don't have to feed what Eddie gave me this year. So, yeah, everybody's been good. I mean, a lot of it's been compared obviously with what Jeff did last year, and we have different personalities and different likes and dislikes, and I just want to be another driver this year. I mean, it's my last year, but at the same time, if I was just totally walking away from the series and never going to be here again, it might be a little different. But like I said, I don't really feel like it's going to be. I'm going to be here a lot next year harassing everybody, so I didn't need all that.
All right, we'll go with Joseph, Chris Knight, and Jonathan Merriman.
Just Welcome from Stretch.com. As several other major NASCAR owners who get older and will begin to retire eventually, what have you learned from them that's helped you in the ownership role?
You got to remember, I drove for Joe Gibbs for 12 years total. I mean, 10 in the Cup Series. I mean, if it weren't for that, I don't think I ever would have been a race car owner. I don't think I ever would have been a track owner. And I damn sure wouldn't have even remotely entertained the idea of being an owner at the Cup level. I mean, I learned a lot from Joe. I mean, anybody that's been successful in NFL, NASCAR, NHRA, you realize there's something special there, and there's something that you want to learn from. And Joe was if you paid attention to what he said, which there were a lot of times I didn't pay attention enough, but the days I did pay attention, I learned a lot from Joe, and those lessons are what helped build the foundation in my mind to do what I've done here in the last 15 years.
Who we got? Chris, Jonathan, and then Louis Frank.
CatchPens.com. Tony, I know you have no aspirations of doing any more Cup racing, but you are building an Xfinity Series team, and then obviously trucks run at Eldora. Just curious if, for fun, if you might decide to play in trucks or Xfinity.
I got a lot of race cars to have fun in. No, I mean there's a reason we have the Xfinity Series. What we're trying to do with it, my plans aren't in that. The truck race, it's a tug of war every year. That when about April or May, I get a tug of war with myself of, do I want to do the truck race? I would love to run the truck race at Eldora. The problem is I worry like a parent the whole time that we're there for that race. So I mean, I think you guys have seen the role I've played there every year, and it's a busy role, so I don't know that I really have time to do the truck race. Maybe one day down the road, but right now, I mean, I'm going to take care of making sure I do the best job we can as a racetrack to put on a great event.
So where were we? Jonathan Merriman, Louis Frank, Mark Garrow.
Jonathan Merriman, NASCAR.com. Tony, tomorrow, Sunday is going to be your last race. Jimmie's potentially winning 7. Talk about the mutual respect that you guys have for one another and how mind-boggling it is that we have a guy in the modern era that could potentially tie Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Petty.
I think it's pretty cool. I mean, it's, you look at history in all forms of sports. I mean, records are there, and they eventually get broken at some point. And to have the opportunity to race in a race that might put Jimmie in that elite category is pretty cool, with it being my last. But, Jimmie and I have a great respect for each other. We always have, always will. And it's been a friendship that's kind of been behind the scenes away from everybody. But, I mean, we just have a lot of respect for each other and appreciate each other.
Louis, Mark, and then Jim Utter.
Louis Frank of Reuters. Yesterday, Jimmie Johnson told us about a flight on your airplane. You fed your dog steak and him hamburgers and you hamburgers. How do you come to feed your dog steak and you guys hamburgers?
Easy. I like my dog. I like my dog more than I like people, so they get better. My dog eats better than I do normally, so yeah, it's he was having some stomach problems, so we were trying to get his stomach settled down, so we were giving him stuff that we know has worked in the past.
Would you feed me steak?
Would I feed you steak? I mean, if it's left over from a restaurant last night that I can get, I mean, there's a lot of you guys. I mean, I'm on fixed income next year, so I mean, feeding all you guys steak is going to be a little rough. But yeah, yes, I would buy you steak for sure.
Yeah, we'll go.
You're not going to get the big one. You're going to get the petite fillet. It's about $5 cheaper. So.
All right, Mark Arrow and then Jim Utter.
Mark Garrell, PRN. Tony, you've done so much in your career. You've got the championships, the Brickyard win, a lot of stuff there accomplished. Anything missing from the resume that bothers you?
Well, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed that I hadn't won a Daytona 500, a Southern 500, and most of all an Indy 500. But I look at it and I look at where I was when I was 15 years old and 18 years old. I never even thought I'd get a chance to race those 3 races, let alone in all 3 of them have opportunities to have won the race. So, you know, in the perfect world, yeah, I'd love to have been able to cross those 3 off the list, but it's at the same time I look in the big picture and go, you know what, it was pretty damn cool just to have the opportunity to go there and race those races.
All right, we'll go to Jim Utter and wrap it up with Holly Kane.
Motorsport.com. Over some of the comments you've said over the last couple of weeks, you mentioned how surprised you were to find out how much racing has consumed your life. Is there anything outside of racing that you thought about doing or pursuing, even if after what you plan to do is over with?
The crazy thing is I wouldn't even know what to do. I mean, you guys know all the entities I have, and all of it revolves around racing. It's like I've never, since I was 8 years old, there's never been a thought in my mind about doing things outside of racing. I don't know what to do outside of racing because that's what 24/7 my mind's consumed with in some capacity. A friend of mine asked me this week, they said, what's the first thing you're going to do? I don't know. I mean, all I can think of is I'm done the 16th of December is the last thing that I have to do for the calendar year, except for I leave the 27th to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma to work the Tulsa shootout for Emmett Hahn. I'm there for a week. I come home. I'm going to Talladega to the short track there for 3 days for their big race. And then the next day I go back to Tulsa for 7 days for the Chili Bowl. It's like, yeah, this is what retirement like. You know, like I said, it's busier, but anything that's non-racing related, I don't know. I really don't know what I'm going to do and what I want to do, but you know, I know there's other stuff outside of racing that I'll enjoy too. It's just a matter of figuring out what it is.
Holly Kane, NASCAR.com. I feel like I have to ask you on behalf of everyone, how much will you miss coming into the media center and answering questions from all of us?
If I truly thought it was the last time I would be coming to the media center, it doesn't count. It doesn't matter how you come into here, it's still dealing with you guys. Doesn't matter what the capacity is. Yeah, if I truly thought it was the last time I was coming in here, we'd be high-fiving everybody on the way out. But like I said, I'll be here next year, and I'm sure one of my 4 guys will do something that's going to make me have to come to the media center and answer dumb questions and make fun of somebody in a salmon shirt that must have felt bad and went to go change. So. Obviously, by your laughter, you thought he should change too. So.
All right. On that, thank you very much, Tony, for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate everything, and I truly apologize for pissing a lot of you guys off most of the time. That's only a couple times was that actually my goal when I went into Media Center, was to truly make somebody mad, but for the most part, thank you guys for everything. It's been an awesome ride.
Thank you.